All righty. What is good? We got, I don't know. Is this going to be a good game? Saints Chiefs?
I think so. In terms of what I need tonight, as long as Harrison Bucker doesn't let that big fucking right leg of his go for 23 points, we should be able to secure the dub.
Yeah. I mean, I have pretty low expectations for this game. I don't know why, but I'm sensing like a 17-10 Chiefs win. I don't know,
I can
like
see
with
that.
a gross, like 200 yards of offense on both teams. I don't know why. And like maybe a couple short fields leads to like a, Kareem Hunt touchdown in the final 3 minutes of the game to secure the win for the
Juju
Chiefs.
Smith-Schuster scoring the game winner would be fucking hysterical.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for an absolute heater, like anytime touchdown parlay, there's going to be 3 total touchdowns in this game. Jawan Johnson's going to score the first one. It'll be
I
the
like that call.
Saints. The second touchdown will be scored by Justin Watson. And the third touchdown will be scored on defense by Nick Bolton. That's going to be the touchdown scores today. Just call it. If that hits, that's a generational parlay. But just saying, like I'm expecting absolutely no fantasy production. I'm going to set the bar low and hopefully I'm pleasantly surprised because the rest of the week 5 games obviously surprised us pleasantly. We saw a bunch of high scoring games and so on and so forth, but I only took a look at my fantasy lineups. I'm not sure I have any Monday Night Football implications. I think I've either lost or won in every single league.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me take a look here. So Flock League, I already won. I mean, I would love to see Mahomes and Kelsey have a good performance. That would maybe result in me being actually able to trade Patrick Mahomes before his bye week, so I don't have to pick up and drop a bunch of good players.
Sorry, Jacob tweeted this. I thought it was hilarious. Week 1 Cooper Kupp, 21 targets, 14 catches, 110 yards and a touchdown. Can't believe anyone faded this guy. He's clearly the 101 rest of the season. And then he also has Week 5 Garrett Wilson, 22 targets, 13 catches, 101 yards and a touchdown. He just fancy Wandale. What a scrub.
Yeah. I could actually technically beat you in Devy Disciples.
What do you need?
42 from Olave.
Oh God. Yeah, let's hope. I mean, like, I actually kind of hope you do get that because I'm literally tanking in that league.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd say there's a good chance I'm not going to get that.
Who's the best fucking rookie coming in that fucking league?
I would say Cam Ward probably at this point. Oh, sorry, that's not the right league.
Devy Disciples, yeah.
Yeah, Devy Degeneracy, Cam Ward would be the best rookie coming in. Devy Disciples is probably even more watered down, if I had to guess.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't blame. Like, there's going to be a lot of people rostered. However, it is very nice that I have both Ashton Genty and Jeremiah Smith, 2 future 101s in the Devy pool.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, I don't have any 101s, but I do have Emeka Egbuka and Trey Harris, who both project to be top 5 receivers in this class. Yeah. And I have Shadur Sanders and Jackson Dart, who probably project as top 4 quarterbacks in this class. And I have Io Manor, too, who probably will be a top 6 receiver in the class as well. So
you mentioned Egbuka. Speaking of Egbuka, I think it was Ian Hardis that tweeted this, and I was kind of like laughing the other day. He's like, Emeka Egbuka, as soon as he comes into the NFL, is just going to be this generation's Robert Woods.
I actually don't mind that as a comp for him.
I don't mind it either. Look, he's the motion man in Ohio State's offense. Like, I could see him being used like that in the NFL too. Imagine the Rams got him.
Yeah, that would be a fun landing spot for him, actually.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if it was him and Nakua long term, I think that would be an interesting duo. If Kupp, signs elsewhere, gets traded in the offseason or something.
Did you sync up the site questions to the site to the
I did not. Do we have site questions that we needed to get through? I didn't think we would because it's Monday.
We can check, but that's what I just remembered. Okay. I mean, worst case scenario, we can manually field them.
We do. Actually, we have a trade question on the site that we can quickly just we can get to.
Yeah, and then
the stream timing will be off, but I'll put the link in anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we have the timing on the top left corner, so we can just manually send the link to the stream and the time. It's not that big of a deal. Because like all the streamer mode does basically is like automatically sync it for us. It's just if we do it manually, it works. So we're good.
Yeah. So we do. We have a question here from Gravy NYC. He's got a trade question here with Swift's recent outlook or outbreak, I guess. Should I keep him and hope my wide receivers get it together or make the upgrade? So, I mean, I think Swift is definitely a pretty solid sell high just because, I mean, I'm skeptical. He's DeAndre Swift, man. Like, DeAndre Swift is kind of hot and cold sometimes. I like what the offense is doing, and I think that the Bears offense could be pretty decent long term, but I still think that Roschon will stay involved. I still think that Herbert can play for what it's worth. So we'll have to wait and see if this Swift workload carries through. But you got yourself a low end RB1 rest of season or a mid RB1 or sorry, low end RB2 rest of season, mid RB2 rest of season with DeAndre Swift. That being said, I would make this trade. I want Jonathan Taylor over Amari Cooper and Swift.
Absolutely. And again, the only way this completely bites you is like, oh, Amari Cooper goes to, I don't even know if the Cowboys are actually going to trade for a receiver at this point now with how Dolbert played. So you're hoping like the Chiefs get him. And even at that point, with DeAndre Swift, if you were to take a 2-game schedule of teams and where the venue is played, I don't think at home against the Rams, at home against the Carolina Panthers would be far down the list. Like those are like two of the most ideal matchups you could possibly ask for a fantasy running back. He's had one game this year where he's averaged over 4 yards per carry. So I know that doesn't really matter as long as he's getting the volume. He's going to be able to be productive in fantasy football. But I could just see a game where it's probably not going to happen against the Jaguars because they're also probably number 3 on that list. But probably after the bye week, once you get into like, dude, why is this guy's fantasy matchups? He's got LA, Carolina, Jacksonville, bye, Washington, Arizona as his matchups in the middle of the season.
So maybe you should hold on to DeAndre Swift, not you specifically, Gravy, because this is a good deal for you. But in general, maybe you shouldn't sell high on him. Maybe you should probably ride out some of this production because if he keeps playing at the level he's playing right now and they're just, starting to figure it out. And it looks like, that's going to be the case given this, the schedule that they have coming up. And that'll be huge for Caleb and the offense in general. Swift is probably going to have some good weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like maybe you wait till week 9 to sell him high is where I'm wondering after that Arizona game. He might be like the RB4 in fantasy at that point.
Yeah, no, agreed. I think Gravy, though, you're comfortably taking JT here. Yeah. Even if he's out another game, you're probably benefiting more in the long term. But he did mention, hope my wide receivers get it together. If your team's a little weak right now and you're maybe 2-3 or 1-4 or something like that, I don't know if I would necessarily be in the business of buying an asset that's currently injured. But
hear me out 1 second. Do you make this deal right now knowing with certainty that Jonathan Taylor, you could probably get this deal at least after the week, A, and B, that Andre Swift plays the Jacksonville Jaguars this week and he's probably going to be a top 12 running back in the rankings? Like, I would wait to make this deal because I think this is going to be available to you at any point in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it might, but it could maybe the reason it's on the table is because the person who has JT needs wins and they're worried that JT is going to continue to be out. And the second JT is back, this deal is no longer on the table. That would be my only concern with that.
Potentially, but if DeAndre Swift in a smash spot against Jacksonville has another like 18 plus PPR point week, maybe this deal even looks for like a better running back than JT long term. Like if DeAndre Swift has like 20 points this week, you might even be able to offer this for like if A-Chan is a great example. Where I was gonna say like
Breece Bijan.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say Gibbs, but like
nobody likes Breece or Bijan. I mean, me saying Breece and Bijan is going to anger people in the chat right now.
For sure. My answer honestly would be I'd hold for now because I think you can at least get this deal, if not better, after the week when he crushes the Jaguars.
The reason I want to do this is because I'm very worried about Amari Cooper and the Cleveland Browns right now. Like I know we talked about him as like maybe a buy, but like guys had like one usable fantasy game in 5 weeks because the offense is just such a complete, utter dumpster fire train wreck, and it doesn't appear that they're going to go away from Deshaun Watson at any point in time.
No. It's against Philly this week. Could do worse.
Against who? Philly?
Against Philly. Could do worse.
Yeah. Interesting one. But
yeah, I would hold on it.
Yeah, it's an interesting trade discussion for sure because you got a clear upgrade 2-for-1 situation. For me, if you have good depth, I think this is just an easy upgrade to make, if I'm being honest, especially if you're 4-1 or 5-0 or even 3-2.
I would hold. I think you can get as good, if not better, after the week.
Yeah, I think that the JT manager only makes this deal if they're looking for wins ASAP, like and they're maybe 1-4 or something like that.
Oh, that's fine, but at the same time, I know Jonathan Taylor is not going to be playing this week, so his value is going to remain constant. And I know that DeAndre Swift, if he has a big game, could even like 1.5x his market value right now.
Yeah, no, he could. That's definitely fair. Let's get to the top of the questions that we have here. Again, if you guys do want to submit a question, you guys can skip the line via the site, and that is linked down below in the description. It says ask a question or get your team reviewed. I just updated my rest of season rankings and my dynasty rankings today. I got to fire them into the trade value chart as well. But on the site, the dynasty superflex and one quarterback rankings are up to date. Jaden Daniels, now officially my 104 in superflex startups. Only CJ Stroud, Mahomes, and Allen ahead of him.
He's going to be there at 103 for me. I think at this point I got to eat my crow because, I mean, if you're getting top 4 production from a 24-year-old already, there's no reason he should even pass the top 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you can make the realistic argument that he should be ahead of Mahomes.
Mahomes
isn't giving me good production right now, and Mahomes is like 28 years old.
I think at the minimum, honestly, Stroud should be ahead of Mahomes at the very minimum. So if that's the case,
I have Stroud ahead of Mahomes as well.
I mean, yeah, fuck. I think we might be arguing ourselves into Jaden Daniels quarterback too, and that's crazy to contextualize. Yeah. And he wasn't even quarterback 2 in the class for us, so that's awesome.
Unfortunately unfortunately for us, the upside scenario played out quite quickly for Jaden Daniels. And it's not like I was completely underweight Jaden Daniels. I got a lot of shares in best ball. I did get him in one of my dynasty leagues. I ended up getting him in 2, but then I traded him, like I said, with a second to go get Drake May instead, which I feel kind of stupid for in our Tone Setters league. But yeah, the bull scenario definitely played out for Jaden Daniels. I still thought it was within the range of outcomes that Cliff was just a bad coach and Jaden
I did too
for his life. And, didn't look like an NFL passer. Like the way Anthony Richardson has looked, except maybe a little better, I could have seen Jaden Daniels performing as a rookie.
Same page for me. We got the inside scoop. Apparently, W Deck says he was in Mason's stream trying to trade for CeeDee Lamb. So I'm gonna have to message Joe, be like, "Hey, hold firm. Don't give him quite the petty just because he's paying your fucking bills."
Yeah, no, that would, if Mason takes advantage of Green Means Money, who has I just beat him this week. He has the worst team in the league, and his only plus starter is CeeDee Lamb,
who we traded Jahmyr Gibbs and Marvin Harrison for, by the way. Also downgraded from Lamar to Anthony Richardson, but yeah.
No, that would be that would not be great. Going to the top of the chat here, we got Car Chisel. It says 2 to 3 PPR shallow league, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. Trade away BTJ, Terry, Dobbins to receive Garrett Wilson and Pittman. I'm not doing this, dude. I think you can make the argument that BTJ and Garrett Wilson are a lot closer than this trade would indicate.
All right. We haven't gone. I mean, actually, you would have updated your rest of the rankings. Mine will be available tomorrow. I've actually just been working on my waiver sheet because I am handling that video tomorrow. I will make sure that is updated within by tomorrow, basically for the rest of the season. But if we're playing the who would you rather have card in terms of rest of the season rankings, I'm looking through it right now, dude. I think Brian Thomas Jr., you're taking him over Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I would.
I think the discussion comes like, are you taking between BTJ, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf is kind of where I'm looking.
I have Tyreek Hill way higher than you by the sounds of it, but
you're probably more optimistic about Tua. That's fair.
Yeah, I have BTJ at wide receiver 15 in my rest of season rankings, just behind Mike Evans, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, and Garrett Wilson. That's where he ranks for me. So I have him ahead of Devontae Smith, Deebo Samuel, Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, those type of guys.
Yeah, I think that's about fair. That's at least the range he should be. And honest to God, hear me out, man. I think he might be even close to like 9. Like he's right on the cusp of being there.
I can't quite get there yet because Jacksonville's still an operation that's a little bit shaky.
And he's still been this dominant.
Who would you rather have, Jaden Reed or Brian Thomas Jr.?
Dude, I might have end up.
I have to move Jaden Reed up too.
I might end up having like Jaden Reed above like AJ Brown, dude. Like he looks fucking unreal.
But
yeah, like it was funny because I actually, speaking of AJ Brown and Jaden Reed, I actually recently made a deal in our Devy Degeneracy League. I'm sure you saw it on the weekend, but I traded away, I believe it was Jordan James, the running back from Oregon. If you guys are familiar with the college scene, pretty good running back, over 6 yards per carry, workhorse on Oregon. Good prospect, probably going to be like a day 2 pick this year. Traded him. I believe it was a rookie third this year, depleted rookie third, plus who were the other 2 assets? It was Jaden Reed and it was something else in exchange for Dak and AJ Brown. Let me pull the deal up. But here, it was a really interesting deal because when I was going through the valuation, because basically I initially offered a deal that didn't involve Jaden Reed, and he substituted Jaden Reed in there. And when I was thinking about how I was actually going to value Jaden Reed, I thought about it, and I think you could really make the argument in terms of Jaden Reed over AJ Brown and Dynasty. So at the very minimum in that deal, I consider them a wash.
Yeah, I don't think that's an outrageous take for sure.
Yeah. Also, sorry, it was a devy depleted first and third. That's what I did it. My team is in a contending situation in that league. I believe I'm in first place right now. So I'm expecting that to be like the depleted 110, 109 at minimum in the class.
Yeah, that's fair. So Q's actually asking where to find the rankings. I'm just going to showcase where they are just so people know. People who are site subscribers, you guys can see the rankings tab here. This is actually free to view if you're just looking at the expert rankings, which is combined between myself, between Nathan and Avery, and you can see when everybody updated their rankings. Like Danny said, he's going to update his tomorrow. You can specifically go to my rankings like this, and then it'll automatically sort by my rankings, so you can see, wide receiver position. I actually, I don't know, for some reason this one didn't save. I got to go back through because I did move Jamar Chase ahead of CeeDee Lamb for the rest of the season portion. But you can kind of go through and see like how my rankings stack up. You can go to the overalls, running back, so on and so forth. So Q, if you are a site subscriber, that is all you have to do is just go to the rankings tab here.
I think you have Jaden Daniels too low.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he might be 3, dude. I think he might be 3. He has Hurts level rushing usage, and he's been a better passer.
I don't totally disagree with you, but
you want more of a sample. I get it.
Part of the reason why I'm holding out hope is that Hurts has not had AJ Brown and Devontae Smith on the field together since week 1.
And plus, dude, Goddard.
And Hurts was my QB1 entering the year, and we really haven't seen any of the 3 trio there on the field together healthy.
And not to mention, I mean, like Goddard, for what it's worth as well, looks like the best I've seen him maybe in like 5 years, to be honest. Like the guy.
Yeah, he looks a lot better this year so far. It could be a product of the fact that he's like being asked to be the alpha right now, but I think I feel pretty good about the Eagles still. I'm actively buying the Eagles. Hurts, AJ, and Smith. I'm actively buying those players because I think that people are concerned that it's, oh God, the Eagles, they collapsed down the stretch last year. They're about to collapse again. It's like, is their coaching going well right now? No. But I do think having Jahan Dotson and fucking Paris Campbell as your starting receivers might have something to do with it.
Yeah. Let me add quick too. This is not Danny's a Cowboys fan. Of course, he's an Eagles hater here. That's not what I'm trying to sound like. I do expect the Eagles to figure it out, and I do expect them to run at a fast pace because they have too many good players not to. However, if there's a stretch where it crashes and burns, I've seen Kellen Moore operate as an offensive play caller. When it's good, it's fucking great. When it's bad, it's unwatchable. That's my one piece of information as a guy who had Kellen Moore as his OC. It's the highs and the lows. You got to ride it throughout. Pause.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. I better see Wandale.
I feel pretty comfortable. I feel pretty confident and pretty comfortable that they're going to figure things out with the guys actually healthy on the field.
Christian, against the Bengals, I can say he's going to be in my top 30. I can tell you that. I don't know about top 24, but he'll be in my top 30. I'm not going to disrespect him. Starting targets.
You can't be disrespecting Wandale even more than you already have.
I'm more excited about him with Neighbors back potentially, honestly, because I mean, like, Darius Slayton showed he could stretch the field. We know Neighbors going to do his thing. Like Wandale might have like 10 yards between him and the second level,
which is exactly what he likes. You know what I've noticed about Wandale, by the way? He is guaranteed. Every single play of Wandale's looks the exact same. He catches the pass 3 yards, average depth of target. He makes one guy miss, and he gets an 8-yard gain every single play.
Dude,
but he will never, ever lose yardage on a catch, and he will never have like a 15-yard catch or a 20-yard catch. It's always 6 to 10 yards at absolute most. He's going to get tackled right around the first down marker every single time.
He's this generation's Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
Dude, man, Cole Beasley was the exact same thing. Too. Oh, 100%. He's what everybody thought Rondale Moore would be. And I mean, like, he's lived up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? I'm also good on running. Okay, yeah. So going back to his question, he also has like, I mean, he has Nico, Debo, Devontae, and Amari. Yeah, just keep BTJ, man. Like, you're in a really good spot there. Kyron for BTJ and Dynasty and a fucking heartbeat, Paul.
Dude, easily BTJ, bro. If you have to draft in a dynasty draft right now, I mean, I was just talking about he may very well be a top 9 to 10 wide receiver in dynasty already. And if that's the case, like we're looking at a guy that should be at minimum a 2-3 turn pick, possibly even in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, I updated my Dino rankings and I have him wide receiver 13.
Which is
So
probably
that's
like
where,
in the mid third for you.
yeah, probably like mid to late
Yeah.
third round, I would imagine. And
Would you
that's,
take
I am
him or
still
his teammate?
walking a little bit having Odunze at 12, but
Would you take him or his teammate Trevor Lawrence in a dynasty startup right now?
probably Lawrence because I like to start with quarterbacks.
Fair. I think the fact that this is a conversation already is pretty
Yeah.
wild.
I mean, Lawrence looked a lot better this week, and I think it's pretty clear to me that Lawrence is kind of carrying
Yeah.
Jacksonville's bad play calling and bad play design.
And I
At
mean,
least this
Brian
week he
Thomas
did.
is uncoverable right now, dude.
Yeah, Thomas was outstanding. He's also, I mean, it's not like Lawrence is perfect. He's missed throws and stuff like that, but I do think the contract insulation, the fact that they should have a better offensive coordinator is going to be a huge deal for him.
For sure. A couple things down here, and then we'll get back to the top of the chat again. Apologies, but Spicy, can you all bring up the fact that Mason tweeted that he wanted the flock league after the Chase performance? Whenever you submit, when I submitted clips for that video, so basically what happened is after the Cowboys game last night, I am fired up. Literally in the video, I pour a glass of wine and like salute the 4-1 teams, and I say, congrats to the other 4-1 teams. I'm basically calling myself a victor, which might actually age completely terribly for me tonight if Bucker goes off. But hopefully that doesn't happen because I already submitted the clip. Me holding a glass of wine saying salute to the other 4-1 teams. And I referenced Zach and I referenced Mason. And then I went into the Google Drive and I found Mason's video of him saying how the Pickens fumble got changed to Freiermuth and he lost. And I had to re-record a video saying, I guess I prematurely celebrated with you because I find out in the drive that you lost. Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Also, fun fact, and this irritates the hell out of me. If I played Mason every single week, I would be 4-1.
Oh,
and he's 4-1, and I'm 2-3.
Bro, the week I played Nathan, I had my worst week of the year. If you take any of my other week scores, I would have beat any of his best scores on the season. My lowest score other than that week is 134.98 points. He hasn't had a single week over 130 points yet. But the week he played me, I had 98. So that's unfortunate. I also see Snugan here. Should have been a top 15 pick. Yeah, I mean, like just off the athletic traits alone, like the guy looks like Nico Collins out there already. And we obviously see what Nico Collins is doing prior to having to rub the hammy a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's looked excellent. BMAC asked me what bets I got tonight. I like Juju to have higher than 1.5 receptions. He's playing the Rashee Rice role. I think he can catch some passes. Kareem Hunt get some carries in this game. I already talked about how I think this could be a slugfest. So I like Kareem Hunt to go higher than 11 rushing attempts. Xavier Worthy has 5 carries this season, so I like him to go higher than 2.5 rushing yards there. And we've been making some cash putting these first quarter receiving yards totals on here. So I like Chris Olave to go higher than 7.5 first quarter receiving yards. That is my underdog pick for Monday Night Football. I made a TikTok about it earlier today, and this is the new customer free pick for those of you guys that are new to Underdog. You can sign up using promo code FSC, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you sign up, and you can add in that Mahomes free pick, and that entry, if it hits, would 20x your money if you have the Mahomes free pick in there. So I'm gonna check actually really quick if they have a boost token or something in the lobby because it is Boosttober over on Underdog. So I want to see if they have something. Yeah, 20% profit boost token is live in the lobby right now. So if you guys want to add that to your entry, that entry that I showed here was 4 picks for 100. But if you add in the 20% profit boost, it would be 4 picks for 120 if it ends up hitting.
Yeah, and then I also shared mine today on the Shorts channel. If you guys aren't following the Shorts, basically for every slate, I do make my picks Thursday night, Sunday, and of course the Monday Night Football games. Unfortunately, this Sunday, I wasn't able to make both picks. I was doing my rankings video the day before, golfing, and then I had a birthday to attend to. So apologies for those of you that were looking forward to that. Did end up making a couple slips on the Sunday morning live stream. So hopefully you guys were able to check those out, but was able to make my Monday Night Football picks. Did upload the short earlier today. These are the picks for tonight. Like you mentioned, first quarter receiving yards. We love those lines at this current point. With Rashid Shaheed, 27% target share so far this year, 4.5 yards. I mean, if you're doing the math, I believe his line is at 49.5 yards. So he needs to get a 10th of his receiving yard line and 25% of the game. So we like the math there. One catch should be able to get that done. Harrison Butker, I actually found this stat. The Saints are currently allowing the lowest touchdown conversion rate in the red zone right now. Only 22.22% of red zone drives against the Saints actually result in touchdowns. Therefore, you take the KC kicker. Saints are good in the red
This is
zone.
a reverse jinx, isn't it?
Partially, but also like the stats back it up that the Saints do get stops when teams are in the red zone. And I mean, of course, it does help that Bucker needs 23 to beat me in the flock league. So we'll be taking the higher to hedge that. Travis Kelce, higher 59.5, like you said. Juju's technically playing the Rashid Rice role, but really Travis Kelce is playing the Rashid Rice role in terms of the intermediate middle of the field targets. We saw his involvement last week, 9 targets last week, 13 in the first 3 games. We'd like that involvement to continue. Then Alvin Kamara lower than 104.5 rushing plus receiving yards. The Kansas City Chiefs are currently number 1 in opposing points allowed to the running back position thus far. They've been really stout against opposing running backs. Alvin Kamara, he's seen his efficiency drop off in each of the last 2 weeks against a tough KC defense. We know he's going to touch the ball, but I'm curious what it looks like in terms of the efficiency this week.
Yeah, he is coming into the game with an injury too, so I think taking the lower on anything of his rushing yards, total yards, whatever, seems like a pretty smart idea because they limited his snap share 2 weeks ago when Taysom Hill was taking away some of the red zone touches, but then Taysom Hill got hurt and then they put Kamara back into the game. So I think it's possible that Jamal Williams or whoever else has more of a role this week than we're maybe thinking.
What scares me is the receiving, because I think like Casey's going to do a good job stopping him on the ground, maybe like an 18 for like 70 game. But like if he gets like 8 targets, that's the only thing I'm confused about. Also, Christian, you're saying you want a wrench. Look beside your name, brother.
Yeah, you got one, brother. You got one.
You got one. I just realized
Rylan needs 109 from Olave. Good luck, buddy.
Good chances.
Have Rasheed, CMC, Collins, Achan, send me your prayers.
Injuries.
That is brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
turn injuries off. McConkey or Wicks rest of season. This is definitely
Wicks.
Ladd, I think, right?
Wicks.
What?
Why would it be Ladd?
Because Ladd's the number 1 on his team and can actually catch the football.
On a team that throws the ball 20 times per game, a wide receiver 2 on the Packers is more valuable than wide receiver 1 on the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get there. Like I have Wicks.
I'll take Wicks.
I have Wicks at wide receiver 39 rest of season, which I think is pretty aggressive for a guy that could be back to his old role if Watson comes back in 2 weeks. I like Wicks. Like I think he has a chance to really win out this job and take over for Christian Watson. And but like I'm getting a little bit more pessimistic that Wicks is going to just be like a superstar. Like I think he's a good player and I still believe in him. I'm still going to be firing him up this week against Arizona, but he's got to put it on the field before I believe he's better than McConkey at least.
I don't disagree, and I think McConkey's really good. Don't get me wrong, but when I can get the potential number 2 target in the Green Bay offense right now, that is slinging.
I get the number 1 for Justin Herbert, dude. What do you mean?
Yeah, who's throwing the ball 19 times per game this year?
Yeah, I mean that's like that's definitely fair, but he has like a 30% target share of those throws. So
sure,
if there's rare games where they throw 36 times or whatever, we're getting 10 targets out of McConkey.
Potentially, yeah, sure. Again, I like McConkey a lot, but at the end of the day, like when I'm looking at Jordan Love, like the guy's throwing the ball like 40 times per game right now.
Yeah, they've also been down big every game, it seems like.
Yeah. Also, I would concede Kraft. I think Kraft is going to continue to be involved, but also like in terms of the receiving room, like I just straight up would prefer Wicks from a talent perspective to both Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson.
It's a little dangerous to just call him number 2 when if Watson was on the field right now, he would be 4th in routes.
Maybe, but I also think that the team realizes that, he's been dropping the ball, but when he actually catches the football, like he's the second best receiver on that team.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I worry that if Dobbs is back this week and Watson's back in say week 7, is Wicks still startable? Is he a guy that we can still throw into our lineup?
Also, sorry, I've seen this. Pierce, just look at that Nico flex in the background. Yes, sir. Of course, as soon as I get the jersey, he just injures his hamstring that same Sunday. It's funny because Avery, when he got the Kenneth Walker jersey, the same thing happened. Kenneth Walker hurt his groin. So it's like,
he bought the Kenneth Walker jersey after watching him injure himself in the game.
Did he actually?
He got the injury in week 1. And he said, I'm fine or whatever. And then he was out for like 2 to 3 games.
I thought that Avery bought the jersey going into the week 1. And then he got hurt in week 1.
No. He bought it after Kenneth Walker had a monster game, I'm pretty sure. At least, I think that's what happened.
The reason why is I thought because Mason was trying to trade him Ramondre plus for Walker going into the year, and he kept declining. And I think he responded saying, "You want Kenneth Walker so much, I'm going to make sure you know I'm invested." So I'm pretty sure he did that before week 1.
Oh, maybe he did. I'm not sure. I thought it was
That
on
is
the week 1
hilarious.
vlog that he did that.
Yeah, which
But
he
I
would have
guess it might have
recorded
been
prior.
before the games. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good point. I'm 1-4 with Brees, Achane, Ayuk, Rice, Olave, Mason, and Marvin Harrison. How the hell are you 1-4?
Do not
with
blow
like
that
me?
team up. That's a very
Do
good
not
one.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Rice is going to be done for the year by the looks of it. But yeah, you're gonna want to hope with those guys. Brees, Achane, Ayuk, Olave, Mason, and Marvin. Like your team is bound to have better weeks than you've had so far.
Sure.
What's going on, Q? He said, how'd the week go? Yeah, I mean, one in my home league by like 100 points, and one in the flock league by like 78 with Mahomes and Kelsey still to go. And then Best Ball Bags got a nice boost from big, high exposure players of mine like Chase Brown had a good week.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else I have high exposure to that had a good week, but I know I got a lot more like, Burrow was like one of my highest rostered quarterbacks, and Lamar was one of my highest rostered quarterbacks. So those two guys having monster games all really helped my portfolio. I look across it as well, and who else had a big game? Somebody else did that I have. Oh, Ayuk was my highest rostered second round pick, and he had a big game, obviously, which helps my portfolio out quite a bit.
By the way, I seen people, or I seen how'd the week go too. So I just wanted to show this to those that missed the Sunday morning live stream. So I currently have a team that is without like 5 of my top players. It is the grossest team you'll ever see in terms of like a starting redraft team in week 5. And I score the most points again in the league, and it's in my home league. Nakuna Matata, I'm on pace for 139.11. Justin Fields, Roshan Johnson, Rico Dowdle, Jalen Tolbert, Jordan Whittington, Tucker Kraft, Xavier Worthy, George Pickens.
George Pickens is probably the only guy that was a 10th round pick or better.
And then when you go down here, it's just, that's why. Gibbs, Neighbors, Cup, Njoku, Brooks, Nakua just like chilling there. So yeah, it was pretty hilarious that this team has been back-to-back top scorer in that league with that lineup.
Yeah, I had a pretty similar thing happen. I was 4-0 in one of my leagues, and I unfortunately am going to take my first loss this week. But here's who I was starting. It's even worse. Like it's literally even worse than what you suggested. So I was 4-0 in this league coming into the week, and I actually managed to put up like 108 points in half PPR, which is not terrible.
108 and half PPR is good, yeah.
Justin Fields was my quarterback this week. Chuba Hubbard, Ramondre Stevenson, my 2 running backs. Josh Downs, Cortland Sutton, George Kittle, obviously good. Tyrone Tracy, Jordan Whittington, and Jalen Polk. That's who I had to start this week. On my bench, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, both on bye. Jonathan Taylor out. Rashee Rice out for the year now. Cooper Kupp out, and Jonathan Brooks on my IR. So I mean, Rashee Rice is pretty much done, obviously. But yeah, getting Taylor, AJ Brown, and Jalen Hurts, and maybe cut back after his bye is going to feel pretty good to help that team out. Because other than that, the team's in pretty good shape. I mean, I have Kittle as my tight end. I have Stevenson and Chuba and Jonathan Taylor and Jonathan Brooks. Like it's pretty good running back core. AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp. If Rashee Rice was still with us, that would be ideal because my receiver core was goated.
I changed my name for him in the flock league to Gone But Not Forgotten with a heart and a dove.
Yeah. Also, the fact that I dropped 182 in the listener redraft league with Breece Hall having 7 points, Dontavian Wicks having 4, and Malik Neighbors not even playing, and Darnell Mooney on my bench is pretty insane.
Have you seen my team, dude? Fucking everybody was on bye or hurt for me this week.
Yeah, that happens.
I was without Mixon, Laporta, St. Brown, and then like QJ/Hopkins, which are like whatever, inconsequential. I also sneaky pick up. I dropped Bo Melton for Juju Smith-Schuster today, which if you guys don't have, I think I've made this advice tip so many times, but if your bench does not lock in your league and you have a player you know you're going to drop already in the next waiver cycle, drop them for the guy on Monday night. It doesn't matter who it is because you're basically getting a free upside shot. And that actually happened a couple weeks ago with Cam Akers. Did the same thing, dropped somebody for Cam Akers.
For me in our flock league.
May as well, yeah. Juju's first touchdown. Also, Danny is trash at God. Yeah, settle down, buddy. Settle down.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not going to get through all the comments here. I'm just going to parse through and see.
Check the site as well. Make sure.
Yeah, I doubt we got anything, but I'll take a look.
Yeah.
I'm just sifting through here and seeing if there's anything interesting to me. Drop Algier to try and get Bigsby. Other running backs are Chubb. Yeah, I mean, if Bigsby's available on waivers, you want to go after him over Algier. They're pretty much the same thing, to be honest. I don't know if I would go too crazy going after one or the other, because they're both handcuffs with, upside. I mean, Bigsby, I guess, has more upside to take over the backfield without an injury, but it's still a relatively similar shot. Should I trade CD for a 2 wide receiver trade? I mean, generally, I'm not in favor of doing that, but if you can get 2 really good wide receivers, then definitely. Like if somebody's going to give you Ayuk and Brian Thomas, then obviously I would definitely trade CD for that. But it's going to depend what the 2 wide receivers are.
For sure. By the way, too, can we talk about revisionist media? Like everybody picked against the Cowboys coming into the week, and now everybody's acting, oh, the Steelers suck anyways. Like, why was everybody picking for them?
Well, the Steelers were at home. That's probably why.
Well, but that's what I mean. It's like people are acting like, oh yeah, it's such an easy win. You taking it for granted is like everybody also picked that team to win. You know what I mean? I don't know. I find it hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking yeah. They probably should. I mean, we're pretty ass. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it doesn't help when we have 3 dog shit fucking quarterbacks that shouldn't have even sniffed starting Big Ten jobs. But I digress.
Juju first touchdown. Is Coleman the wide receiver 1 for Josh Allen? No, the wide receiver 1 for Josh Allen wasn't playing this week, and his name's Khalil Shakir.
He might not even play this week. Have you heard McDermott's comments on his ankle?
What'd he say?
Let me see if I can find it. But he was talking about like,
I wish I could amend the rule in our flock league that makes you put out players to IR.
I know, dude. Like,
but I can't because I already told Zach that we can't do that, and I'm the commissioner. That would be unethical.
Fuck. I swear I saw something. Yeah, taking it day by day with Shakir ankle. Okay, it's NBC Sports.
That's fine.
This doesn't give. Okay, that's all he said on it. Fair. So is there any context on here?
Most people, like most of the docs that I saw, seem to think he's going to play this week.
Yeah, he just said he'll take it by week and see how he goes. Okay.
So let's say worst case scenario, because you and I are talking about this right now. I'm trying to do a 2-for-1. It's a good situation here. I'm gonna actually showcase exactly what I'm dealing with so everybody can understand it here, because I feel like me talking about it versus me actually showing it makes a lot more sense.
We have no more side comments, by the way, right?
No, we're good. So in the flock league, I have a predicament this week. I don't know if you guys have ever found yourself in a similar predicament, but if you go to my team and you go to week 6, I have Mahomes and I have Kelsey on bye, which is not great because I can't drop those guys, or I shouldn't drop those guys. And I have to pick up a quarterback and a tight end, which means that I have to drop 2 players. And if you can see my team, like
run without a defense.
Antonio Gibbs. Yeah, I could go no kicker or no defense this week if I wanted to. Probably no defense because
you can't drop Fairbairn.
Yeah, it's probably a no defense type of week for me this week. That's actually not a terrible play, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like you look at Allen, Gibson, Charbonnet, Wicks, Tank Dell, Shakir, and Wandale. Like I'd have to drop 2 of these players. Like I don't want to drop 2 of these guys. Like that's why I'm trying to trade for John Brooks from Danny, because not only can I trade for Brooks, I can put him in my IR that frees up 2 roster spots if I do a 2-for-1 for him. But this is a brutal situation because like the second I dropped, let's say if I had to gun to my head right now, the guys that I would pick to drop are probably Gibson and Wandale, probably.
Yeah, Wandale, Shakir. If he's out.
Yeah, if Shakir's healthy, I'd probably drop Wandale over Shakir.
Oh, Christian's probably fucking covering his ears right now. He hates to hear that.
Well, like who else? Who you dropping Braylon Allen? Maybe, no. I guess.
I mean, like, there's nobody you can drop. You have to make a trade.
Yeah, like it would be nice if I could put Achane in IR, but we already decided on that rule because Zach asked me earlier in the season. I said nobody decided on that rule, so I'm not changing it mid-season.
The issue for me, dude, is with Malik Neighbors Malik Neighbors out, he's probably going to play, but like even Nico Collins out and Jonathan Brooks out, like I kind of don't have bench spots I can deal with either. And there's nobody I really want to drop.
Well, here's the thing. If you look at it from this perspective, let's say I drop Gibson because I think he's the clear worst player on my team.
I'd pick him up.
But he's the clear guy that you drop in my situation, right?
I don't disagree, yeah.
You say you drop Gibson and roll with no defense. No. Is that the worst case thing? Or would you guys just drop 2 of the handcuffs and be like, fuck, whatever. I guess I just lost out on them.
I mean,
like I can't. I don't think I can drop Allen or Charbonnet.
you can't drop Allen or Charbonnet. It's gonna have to be Gibson because when you're looking at it, implied play, who's more likely to be a league winner, Braylon Allen, Zach Charbonnet, or Antonio Gibson on the Patriots?
Yeah, I mean Antonio Gibson would be like an RB2, I would think, if Stevenson were out. But Allen and Charbonnet, like, I mean, Charbonnet's already been an RB1 when Kenneth Walker has been out this year, and we know Allen would be an absolute workhorse if Breece was out too.
Yeah, everybody's saying drop Gibson. I mean,
yeah,
preferably you just don't drop anyone. Like, you
guys,
can make a
here's
trade.
the thing: I have to drop 2 of these guys. I'm gonna drop Gibson. That's already the guy that I'm gonna drop. So it's either I roll with no defense or I drop a second player.
You know what's hilarious, by the way, too?
Or I try and do a 2-for-1 until
you're in this situation after giving up basically all of your depth in the Brandon Ayuk deal.
Yeah, everyone's blaming me for that deal. Like, I give up Amari Cooper and JSN and Kareem
Bucky
Hunt
Irving and Kareem Hunt.
Like, they wouldn't even be. Yeah, and Bucky Irving too. Like, but I still think I have the best bench in the league after that trade.
But this, I mean, it's like, it's crazy that you gave up that much depth and you're still in a situation where you don't know what to do in terms of your drops.
Yeah, well, I mean, the shitty thing is that Mahomes and Kelsey are on the same bye week and they're both onesies. Because if they weren't onesies, then I could just throw in a running back into my lineup or whatever. Like, I don't have to pick somebody up to actually do it. But because they're both onesies, I mean, you could make the argument I could just drop Mahomes, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you can't really drop Mahomes.
What I would what I'm trying to do right now is make a 2-for-1 trade where I can upgrade either a starter.
Go to Sal with Sermon.
That could, yeah. I mean,
let's do it live. Go to the league. See Sal's team. There's gonna be somebody you would want to 2-for-1 with him.
Well, I might even be watching every single person in this goddamn league.
Yeah, I mean, go down to Sal's team because I can see it here.
So Sal has Mason and like a bunch of other guys. Like, I think his depth sucks, to be honest. I think my depth is
which is why you go and make a 2-for-1 with him.
Yeah, but like
DK,
he's not going to give me Metcalf.
Maybe. I mean, like, who's your receiver?
How can I get up to Metcalf without giving up Ayuk or Wilson?
I mean, you wouldn't give up Ayuk and a little piece for Metcalf?
No, I wouldn't. I'd rather have Ayuk. Well, I wouldn't rather have Ayuk, but I think it's close enough that I would just rather keep Ayuk.
Who's his tight end right now? He's got Andrews in there.
Andrews and Ingram, who one sucks and one is hurt.
Fair. Yeah, that's a pretty tough. Probably not him then. Maybe. I mean, your best bet is Joe Green means money. He needs. I mean, who are you going to trade for though?
Yeah, who am I going to trade for? The only option is Lamb. I could try. I mean, I guess I could try and get up from Ayuk or Wilson to Lamb. That would be the best option.
That'd probably be the way too. The only issue though, of course, is he traded so much to get Lamb. He might even just go down with the ship and keep Lamb because that's where he staked his fucking value. So, I mean, Nathan may be like, but then again, who do you really want to trade for?
Every time I trade a trade with Nathan, he wants like my best player for his worst player. So, it's difficult to trade with him. Badake is the one guy that I think I can get something done with because I know me and him share the same kind of like opinions on a lot of these players. Like, I know he likes Shakir. I know he likes Wandale because he's a Giants fan. I know he likes Tank Dell. He's asked me about him a couple times this year. So I think there's a possibility I could get a 2-for-1 done with him. And then I just drop Gibson and I'm golden.
I mean, like, Mason's going to try to fleece you because that's what he likes.
I mean, Mason doesn't have any good players. So I don't
Chase. Chase. Oh, he's not going to sell him after a 41.
He's not going to sell me Jamar Chase. And other than Jamar Chase, I don't really like any of his players.
Can you go up from Wicks to Devontae maybe? Do you think
I mean, Smitty would be a great option to go up to. I just don't think he'll trade me Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough. And then like you would have to be with the team that's struggling right now. So if I'm looking like Austin,
I already tried with Austin. My thought process behind Austin was I'll try and give him Mahomes plus a piece to like plus a wide receiver to get to Hurts. That to me made the most sense. But
what did he say? Just no.
He's like, Mahomes sucks, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of fair.
Thomas,
that's the problem, dude. What
Stroud.
could really actually help me quite a bit is like a 4-touchdown game from Mahomes tonight. Because if Mahomes has a great game, then it's possible people are like, oh, he's just Mahomes again, and then it'd be easier to at least offload him.
That's good. Well, I salute to you. Hopefully, you get it done.
Yeah. Well, again, you might be my only hope, Danny, because trading for Jonathan Brooks actually makes the most sense of any of the options here because it actually allows me to not drop anybody.
I'm not gonna lie. My whole intention is when I get the confirmation with Rice, I was just gonna throw Brooks on the pup. was going to throw him on the IR.
That's fair. But Danny, if you look at your team right now, your starting receivers, if Collins misses 1 or 2 games, is you have Malik Neighbors, Romo Dunze, Jalen Tolbert, and Trey Tucker. I think you could use 2 good receivers.
I could, but like at the expense of like future flexibility. Like I don't know if I want to give up Brooks because I know that the 2 pieces I got from a long-term perspective as a 4-1 team are really going to make it matter. And honest to God, I've done such a good job on the waiver wire to the point where I think I can just keep replenishing my depth.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that everybody's kind of in the same situation, right? I'm like, trying to trade with devs too, and the devs just don't answer. So
yeah, trust.
But anyways, the game has probably started at this point. Good luck to any of you guys that need something. I think it would be hilarious if Harrison Butker dropped like 25 points tonight. But anyways, appreciate you guys for sticking around. Leave a like, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for waivers tomorrow. Peace out. We'll talk to you soon.